I've made a lot of iron farms that do a lot of different things, built-in trading halls and all, but I have never made one that is this quick and easy to build, and I want to show it to you all today. Also, if you enjoy Minecraft farms and tutorials, please make sure you click that like button and subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment down below and let me know, what is your favorite farm in Minecraft? I'm curious to know what it is. Okay, so I have some important rules that you need to know when you're making this, and if you do not listen to these rules, your farm, I 100% promise you, will not work. It will break, so pay very close attention. Rule number 1, you cannot have any beds, profession blocks, or other villagers that are not part of this system within 96 blocks of this farm. If you do, your farm's going to break, with one exception. I'll show you how you can add a bed in for yourself in the area if you want to at the end. Rule number 2, build it the way I show you. If villagers don't have access to their profession blocks, golems won't spawn. If your initial villager you bring in does not link up properly and stay linked, your golems will start spawning on the outside of the farm. And lastly, sometimes this is just Bedrock edition and things happen. Sometimes when an update comes out, it jumbles up the order of the things in the village and it's going to temporarily break your farm. This can be a huge headache, but you can fix it by resetting all the beds and all the profession blocks by taking them all down and then putting them all back up in the correct order. Now, one side note for this is you may have to kill off some of your villagers. You may have to bring it all the way back down to the 3 again. You may need to take your 2 villagers that are going to go inside the first pen that I show you away from the village. Let the 1 villager, it's going to be in that little pen right there. You see him down there. I've already put him down there. We're back in time, Prowl, right now. You'll need to get him linked back up to the center bed, and then you'll bring your other villagers back in and relink everything up and rebreed it all back up again. It's a huge pain. It probably won't happen to you, but if it does, that's how you fix it. Now, before we continue forward, if you like iron farms, you would probably like to build one on a server. And I am partnered with a great server company called Sparkedhost, and I would like to tell you a little bit about them right now. If you want the best way to play Minecraft with your friends or family, then a Minecraft server from Sparkedhost is your answer. A Minecraft server is a great choice as it has much less lag. It allows you to see much further in your world than a realm does, while also not requiring you to be online for others to play in it like a locally hosted world on your device does. To get started with Sparkedhost, browse through their different tiers of server, ranging from their very affordable budget series that offer better value per dollar than realms, or their main lineup of enterprise servers that offer amazing performance at competitive prices. Once you have your server type, amount of RAM, and any add-ons that you may want selected and purchased, your server is ready to play on. If you need any help, Sparkedhost has amazing customer support through their live chat on their website and on their Discord channel. Sign up today by clicking the link on screen now or in the description below, and be sure to use code PROWL at checkout to get 20% off your initial payment. Okay, so to get started, we're just going to take a few solid blocks here and we're going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks high. And just to mark the middle of our farm, we're actually going to place a temporary block right here. And then we're going to have a hopper go right here. It can face down, is perfectly fine. And this is going to be our iron golem spawning platform. Now we're going to end up putting a bed in the middle underneath the hoppers here, which will end up allowing us to go out 8 blocks and 8 blocks only in each direction, because we will make that bed the center of the village and it will stay the center of the village due to some things we're going to be doing with that bed. So from this hopper, count out 8 blocks in each direction. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to do that on all sides. Now, the reason that we're going 8 blocks is actually twofold. Number 1, with the bed being in the center, iron golems can spawn out 8 blocks in each direction, side to side. So this means that we are going to have every spawn spot actually available for the iron golems to spawn. Also, 8 blocks is how far water will flow. So kind of a double bonus is the fact that our water placement will work out perfectly. Okay, next thing you're going to want to do is just place a little border of blocks around. I recommend using glass blocks or non-spawnable blocks for this, although golems should not be able to spawn on this outer ring. We're just going to play it safe and have these glass blocks on the outside. And in each corner, I want you to put a little corner of blocks like this, and then a little corner of glass blocks like this. Now up here at the center, we're gonna go ahead and place a solid temporary block and place a slab right beside that, and then place a solid block on top of that. We're going to place a sign on each side. And on the side of this sign right here, we're gonna hold down our crouch button and place another sign, hold down our crouch button and place another sign. Go over here, do the same thing, hold down the crouch button, sign, crouch button, and sign. These signs right here actually will hold up 3 by 3 blocks of space, and it's gonna hold our lava. But first we need a way to keep the lava from flowing out. So to do that, we're going to hold down our crouch button again, place a sign on the side of it. We can really be any one of these, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get above this and you're gonna hold down the crouch button and put a sign above. This is actually going to act as a wall to our lava that's going to be above. So now we're just going to extend this wall of signs all the way around. To do that, we're gonna hold down our crouch button, place a sign, and I think one more, place a sign, come over to the side here, sign, 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 and sign. Keep going around, and then you will end back up over here. Now, if you want to test it just before you put the lava in, you can go ahead and just place water right here. You should see this happen. If you see a little hole, maybe you forgot a sign somewhere and water is leaking out, just go ahead and put a sign, you know, underneath or to the side of that, and that'll fix the problem. But ultimately, we don't want water here. We're going to use lava to kill our golems, so we're going to put lava there instead. And now we're going to put water around everywhere else. We're going to put water right here on top of these corners and all along the sides. And this is the platform all done. Very simple, very few resources for a Bedrock Edition iron farm. So next we want to get our storage set up. So we've come down underneath, we've gotten rid of those temporary blocks right there, and we're gonna come out 1, 2 blocks over. We're gonna come down 1, down a second one, and we're gonna place our double chest right here. This is where our items are gonna go. To do that, all we gotta do is we want to place a temporary block above the chest, place a hopper facing into that, place a hopper facing into that right there, and then place hoppers down like so. The reason we move them over by 1 is because we want the beds to go here. And I think I'm going to place our bed right here. And this is going to be our center bed. Our center bed is going to go right here. The center of the village is always based on the pillow of the first bed that was selected to make the village. So that's going to go right there. We are also going to put a profession block on top of it. That way our villager that we bring over here is going to have a profession, and this profession block is going to be different than all the other profession blocks that we use. So we can make sure that this villager that we bring over here will stay linked to this, and we will visually know that he is linked to these blocks. Now our villager that we're going to bring over and link up to this is going to be the first villager that we bring in. If it's a nitwit villager, that's perfect. You won't actually need the profession block, but it doesn't really matter if it's a nitwit villager or not. You can use any villager, is perfectly fine. And then we're going to just get him set up somewhere out of the way. I know I'm going to be using like this space right here for beds. So let's just place him somewhere right over here. We don't want to place him too high or too low, because if you do, he won't be able to link to the bed and the profession block. He's got to be within like vertically like 3 blocks. So we'll put him on the same Y level. And as long as he's within about, I can't even remember what it is. I think it's like 16 blocks of the bed, then he'll be fine. We're well within that range here. So what we'll do is we'll just set him a little cage up right here. And for this setup, you're only going to actually need to bring 3 villagers over to this location. Really 2 if you want to breed up this third one, but we're going to bring 3 villagers over to this location. The first villager, use rails or however you want to bring him in, and you're going to want to bring him and plop him right in here. What we should see is give him a moment. He will link to the bed. He will link to the profession block. And now we know our farmer villager is linked here. And we do want to make sure that he stays a farmer. So we're going to put water right here, and he will now stay linked as a farmer. And then we'll put those around him. He can't get out of there, but we'll keep him extra safe by encasing him all the way in the glass. He's done. We don't need to do anything else with him. And now we're going to build where the rest of our beds go, because we can now place them down. This whole thing will fit underneath your iron farm platform, so you do not have to worry at all about bringing in any extra like blocks or like going outside of this area. If you're going to build some type of structure in it or around it, this will work out perfectly fine. So now is where you're going to start placing your beds. Now you can start with as little as 20 beds, but you have to have a minimum of 20 beds. So either get some shears and start shearing some sheep, or raid a couple villages that are close by to get all the beds that you need. Either way works perfectly fine. And you're going to want to place down your 20 beds. We have one already there. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Prowl, why did you leave extra space? That seems like a waste. No, because while you have to have a minimum of 20 beds, it is actually best and most efficient to have 30 beds. This is because the number of iron golems that can spawn is dependent on the number of villagers that you have and the number of beds that you have, just because of how this whole thing works. So if we were to have 10 villagers and 20 beds, we could only have one iron golem spawn in and be alive at a time. 20 villagers, 20 beds equals 2 iron golems. 30 villagers and 30 beds equals 3 iron golems, and it actually goes up from there. 30 beds and 30 villagers is the sweet spot. You get a huge increase in production from 10 villagers to 20 villagers. You get a pretty big increase in production from 20 villagers to 30 villagers, and you get a little bit of production difference from 30 villagers to 40 villagers. Anything beyond 40, you get no production value at all. So we're gonna hit that sweet spot, and we're gonna add in another 10 beds to give us 30. All right, now that we have that, we need our location where our villagers are going to go. So I'm just going to work straight across right here. I'm going to build a little platform. Remember, you can put this anywhere that's not close to any other beds or profession blocks. That part, extremely important. We're going to encase this in whatever block we want to. I'm going to use glass just so we can see. And then inside of here, we already have one profession block right there, one villager right there. We're going to want to do another 29 profession blocks. And here you can use whatever profession block that you want. If you plan on doing no villager trading with these guys at all, just use whatever's cheapest. Make composters or fletching tables or something that's very cheap or inexpensive. But if you want to make a lot of emeralds from your farm here, go ahead and put down some smithing tables, grindstones, or blast furnaces, and you can somewhat easily make this a tradable location. Although due to its simplicity and size, it's not going to be intended as a fully functional trading hall. But we're going to go through and we're going to put down 29 of these. And there we go. We have 29 of them. Now, the next step for you will be to bring in villagers, but you only need to bring in 2 villagers. That's it. Why? Because those 2 villagers, you can give them some food and they'll take care of populating themselves. You won't need to do anything except, if you want to, kill the few nitwits that will be born from this area. So we'll throw these guys a bunch of potatoes down on the ground, and after we give them a little bit of time to become acquainted, they will start breeding. Also, I don't think I want them to get on top of the profession blocks, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to block off the top of this area right here. That way we don't have to worry about it. Now, while we wait for them to do their thing, if we want to set ourselves up a little bit of access here, we can place some blocks around here, and we can pop some holes in here. And to keep baby zombies from getting in or baby villagers from getting out, we could put some trapdoors here, and then that will keep both of those things from happening. Again, this is not the most efficient way to do trading, but if you just want to make it nice and simple and not have to worry too much about it and think a whole lot about it, this is a perfect way to make life easy. And there they go. They're now deciding to start to breed. They will make our first baby villager, and all we would have to do is wait for all of them to breed up. And once enough of them are alive to start filling in a lot of these workstations, we will start to see some iron golems spawning. And there we go. Once enough of your baby villagers grow into adult villagers and they begin working, iron golems will start spawning, because 75% of your villagers have to have worked within the last, I think it's day, 2 days. 75% of your villagers have to work. As long as 75% of them are working, including babies, including nitwits, then your farm will start spawning the golems. Now, I did tell you that you can add in your own bed. Really, you could probably even add in your own profession blocks too, but these guys right here, they're probably going to switch around what blocks they are like linked to. So profession block thing, probably not as like sure of a thing, but If you want to put down a bed, once all of your villagers are all grown up, ours aren't yet. I think there's a couple of baby villagers still in here. Want to let those guys grow first, but we should be safe to throw down one more bed for ourselves if we want to somewhere in the area. I mean, we can use these beds, it's fine, but if you want to put down your own, it's okay. But here's a word of caution. If you do place down your own bed, one more villager will breed. If you then break that bed, leaving only 30 beds, but 31 villagers, your farm's gonna break. I don't know what it is about having one more villager than you have beds available that makes the farm stop working, but it will definitely stop working. So make sure you always have the same amount or less villagers than you have beds. And remember, if you're ever unsure the farm stops working, you could always go in, just kill a couple villagers. They will rebreed back up to the bed limit and only the bed limit, and your farm will start working again. As far as the rates are concerned, this will get the typical Minecraft Bedrock Edition top end farm rates of somewhere just north of 400 iron ingots per hour, and you'll get some string from the farm and some poppies as well. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button down below to help support the channel. It helps out tremendously. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I know there's some of you guys out there have not subscribed. I would appreciate it if you click that subscribe button and drop me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of the Minecraft Bedrock Edition super duper simple and pretty compact iron farm. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.